which on my little hand, so the learning area content, the general capabilities over here, and the cross-curriculum priorities, which are up along the top of the cube here. And English, of course, is one of the 8 key learning areas, the one in blue just on the far left there. And this diagram shows the relationship between these dimensions of the Australian curriculum. And teachers will emphasise one or more dimensions to develop learning programs suited to the strengths, interests, and diverse needs of their students. We'll start by looking at the learning area dimension, particularly through the lens, obviously, of English, which is what we're here about today. This chart, I know it looks fairly complex, but I'll explain in a minute, but this chart helps us visualise the structure of English in the Australian curriculum. Under the learning area banner, so up the top here with English, we find the achievement standards just down here on the next level. And they provide a clear description of student learning in the context of the content, and therefore a useful starting point or driver for the development of teaching and learning in English. We then navigate through the curriculum elements. So down in here where the grey boxes are. On the left are the organisational elements, and on the right are the structural elements. Let's start on the left-hand side of the chart, so with these organisational elements. And you can see that the organisational curriculum elements include the rationale, the aims, and the key ideas. On the right-hand side, the structural elements shape the scope and sequence of content and achievement standards into year levels in English. So you get the year level descriptions, you get the content descriptions and elaborations, and the strands, substrands, and threads. And over here on the far right are the links between the the English content and elaborations and opportunities to develop and apply the general capabilities and address the cross-curriculum priorities where they're relevant. Right, so we're going to start with this area down here and go through the rationale, aims, and key ideas for English as they're reflected in the Australian curriculum. And we'll start with the rationale. So the rationale defines the intent of the learning area and describes the importance of the learning area and how it is shaped in the curriculum. I'll just pause for a moment and I'll give you time to read it yourself. Then we're going to do a short activity. Right, so in this activity, I'm going to get you to enter some information in the chat box here. What I'd like you to do is to write down the key words that resonate with you in the English rationale. And I've repeated it here in inverted commas and bold. You don't have to have it memorized. So in the chat box, would you please share what you think are the key qualities in that rationale? Yeah, look, thanks for that, everyone. Some great ideas there. And what I draw your attention to is most of you are sharing in some form or another the qualities that are magnified on the screen at the moment. The study of English plays a key role in the development of reading and literacy skills, which will help young people to develop the knowledge and skills needed for education, training, and the workplace. It helps them become ethical, thoughtful, informed, and active members of society. And the rationale promotes the development of confident communicators, imaginative thinkers, informed citizens, and relationship builders. And this rationale is available on the Australian Curriculum website. It's not secret at all. And the link Virginia's just put into the chat box. Thanks for that, Virginia. And she'll continue to provide the links to a lot of this information as we go through the slides. All right, let's now consider the aims of English. And the aims flow logically from the rationale and define the big picture objectives for the learning area, that is English. The English learning area aims to develop the knowledge, understanding and skills to enable students to interact with texts in a variety of ways. So that's the first point here. To develop capabilities to use, appreciate and enjoy English, to develop an understanding of how the various forms of text work in combination to create meaning, and to have an informed interest in and appreciation of literature. And once again, Virginia has put into the chat box the link to where those aims can be found. Oops, sorry about that. Just went too far there. All right, so I'll go back. Sorry. So the aims are reproduced there again. And you'll notice down the bottom, there's a little bit of a activity that we're going to do. So what I'd like you to think about, and this is just to help you process those aims a bit, is imagine you had to write a $5 summary of this slide where each word's worth $1. All right, so you have $5 and you have to summarize the aim in no more than 5 words because you've only got $5, $1 per word. So I might, for example, write English, interact, appreciate, create, full stop. And I've only used up 4 of my dollars there, but that's okay. You just can't go over 5. So what would you write? What's your $5 summary of the aims? If you can put that in the chat box, that would be fantastic. Thanks, everyone. I like that last one where it's just the one, Belinda's, where it's just that one word, enjoy. Enjoy literature, enjoy texts, enjoy language. But good to see that other people have pulled out really key aspects of English as well. So thank you. And that's a nice little activity to do if you really want kids to hone in on the key aspects of what you're talking about or they're reading. All right, so moving on to the key ideas, these represent key aspects of the learning area content, and they frame the development of the knowledge and skills in the learning area. They relate to the strands of the content of English, which are language, literature, and literacy. And in English, there are just really 6 key ideas. And by the way, if you haven't seen these for the other curriculum areas, they do exist for those as well. But the 6 are texts, communication processes, the English language, literacy is language in use, language features, visual features, and text structures, and the appreciation of literature. And I'm sure there's no big surprises there. And once again, Virginia's put the link to that, to those key ideas in the chat box for you. All right, so we talked about the structure of the English curriculum before, and I'm sure that you probably know that it's broken into, we break the English curriculum into year levels, primary and secondary, and